Welp, it looks like, everybody was talking about CARB's going to sue this, CARB's going to sue that. Well, it looks like CARB is getting sued directly. Oh, this is a petty video.
For the longest time. Whoa. For the longest
Yo, Percocet, Miley Percocet, Percocet, Miley Percocet, Represent, got it represent.
You ever Googled yourself just to see what pops up? Yeah, I did that. And it was way more than I expected. Old addresses, phone numbers, name of my family members, just floating around for anyone to find. I mean, even your home address. It's crazy. That's because of this thing called data brokers. These companies, they scoop up your info from everywhere. Public records, random websites, even stuff you didn't know or knowingly shared. And then they sell it. They sell it to marketers, scammers, trolls, telemarketers. They buy all the data. I'm not cool with that. So I signed up for a company called Delete Me. They go and find all your personal information across all these sketchy sites and get it removed. Plus, they keep monitoring because new stuff keeps popping up. Here's a peek at my Delete Me report. I'm going to cut over here to the dashboard so you can see it. And you can see exactly where they've scrubbed my data and how they're keeping tabs on it. It's been a solid move for me. I've got peace of mind knowing that my info is not just floating around anymore. If you want to lock down your privacy, which I highly recommend, go to joindeleteme.com/TK's Garage. That link gets you 20% off, and I'm going to drop it here below. Oh yeah, and yes, this video is sponsored by Delete Me, but I actually use it myself, like I showed you. I wouldn't tell you about it if I didn't.
So what is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And yes, I saw this over at Reuters. I put it up here on the screen. Daimler, Volvo, and other truck makers sue California to block emission rules. Hey! Truck makers caught in the crossfire between the U.S., California, and U.S. ends antitrust probe in the California Clean Truck Plan. California governor, regulator, not available for comment. All right, so August 12th, Reuters, 4 major truck makers, including Daimler, Volvo, sued California to block the state from enforcing strict emission standards that U.S. President Donald Trump declared void in June. That was done with the Congressional Review Acts, those CRAs. Daimler, Volvo, Packard, I hope I'm saying that right, and International Motors, formerly Navistar, I hate these pop-up ads, said that they have been caught in the crossfire after Trump reversed waivers issued during the Biden administration that let California set its own standards. California can no longer set its own standards, despite what you may have seen from jackass YouTube channels. In a complaint filed on Monday, the truck makers said Trump's rescinding the U.S. EPA's approval of California's plan to boost zero-emission heavy-duty truck sales and reduce nitrogen oxide emissions preempted the state's enforcement. It's true. It's called federal supremacy. For those that don't know what that is, I can't help you, but Google it. The truck makers said the regulatory uncertainty has caused irreparable harm because they cannot plan production in advance without knowing which vehicles they will be permitted to sell. It's true. Monday's complaint names the California Air Resource Board and the Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom as defendants and was filed in federal court in Sacramento, the state's capital. Newsom's office and the board did not respond on Tuesday's request for comment. Well, I bet that doesn't look too good for Gavin Newsom's presidential aspirations. On Tuesday, the Federal Trade Commission ended an antitrust probe into the Clean Truck Partnership and said Daimler, Volvo, Packard, and International Motors agreed to avoid future anti-competitive agreements with state regulators. like the government was going to go after companies for agreeing to this BS with California. CARB's regulatory overreach posed a major threat to American trucking. Tyler Hoogdendorn, deputy director of the FTC's Bureau of Competition, said in a statement. Trump, a Republican, is trying to curb California's power under the Federal Clean Air Act to set tighter pollution limits than the federal law requires. And Newsom's ability to promote electric vehicles as the governor fights climate change. No. California has received more than 100 waivers under the Clean Air Act since 1970. During his June signing of joint congressional resolutions, Trump also blocked California's effort to end the sale of gasoline-only vehicles by 2035, effectively saying, sorry, bro, not going to happen. The state is also suing to undo Trump's actions. The case is Daimler Truck North America, LLC, ETAL, versus the California Air Resource Board, ETAL, U.S. District Court, Eastern District of California, number 25-02255, if you want to go look it up. What does this mean? Well, the federal court is going to rule, even in liberal California, that the federal government is the one that sets emission standards. And if California doesn't have that pass, or that, oh yeah, you guys can do that, sure, we don't care, they're not going to be able to do it. And it's going to get Daimler and Volvo and International and these other companies off the hook, which, depending on how that case turns out, will depend on how Stellantis moves forward, because Carlos Tavares' dumbass signed an agreement with CARB in the state of California too that would make them, at least until the end of 2026, I believe, or maybe it's 2029, that have to sell a ton of electric vehicles there, which I guess they could, technically I guess they could call it sales. I mean, I don't want to give Stellantis ideas, but I guess you could have dealerships that are willing to let you push all of the EVs to their lots in California, and then allow those dealers, and I'm talking about like the AutoNations and Lithias, can then rotate them through their network so that they're not stuck with cars that nobody wants to buy. But that's one way to get around California's BS rule of how many EVs they need to sell. Just if you have a Lithia or an AutoNation dealership, or one of the like, send all of the Dodge Charger EVs directly to those dealerships in California, and then have Lithia move it through their network of dealerships throughout the country. Just saying. What do you guys think about this? I think it doesn't look good for CARB. I really don't. We already know that the Department of Justice has already said that they're going to step in if they keep interfering in federal policy. Pam Bondi has magically all of a sudden started getting aggressive, so I guess that's a win. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.